So, are you tired of feeling trapped by debt? Whether it's your home mortgage, business loan, just bills just piling up, you feeling like you work hard, but it feels like this entire system is just designed to keep you drowning in debt, designed to keep you drowning and just having payment and do every 30 days, right? What is life? Every month, you pour money into really like a black hole. You ain't getting no return for that. The bills, granted, okay, keep the lights on, but other stuff, you ain't getting no return for that. You ain't getting no return for that, man. You getting frustrated every month looking for a way out. Damn, will I ever get ahead? Just need a lump sum of money, just right? Will I ever own what I worked so hard for? Will I ever own this house? Will I ever own this car? Promise you, not alone. It's millions of good people, honest people, hard-working people that are feeling powerless against the same system that is full of unilateral contracts and fine print and legalese that's designed to confuse you and control you. But now, what if the problem really isn't you at all? What if the system has been basically stacked up against you, but yet there's still a way to win? Also, I want to talk about some of the beliefs that hold us back, though, before we get into solutions and all that. Because like we've been conditioned to believe some crazy ass shit. We've been conditioned like if you owe money, you have no choice but to pay until basically you ain't got no money left, and then by that time you may have paid off whatever you owe, right? That like we've been believing we have to follow that blueprint. You got to pay everything off until you ain't got no money. Even if you ain't got the money, go borrow. You miss a payment, then what? You lose everything. Then only the expensive lawyers or bankruptcy can save you. But you just paid most of your money to try and pay off something, then you miss one payment, then you lose everything, then you need an expensive lawyer to get everything, but you ain't even got no money. Otherwise, you would have made the payment in the first place. Come on, man. These types of beliefs actually keep you stuck, keep you living in fear. It keeps you worried about the next letter, next call from Uncle Sam, you know what I mean? Like, but we got to get away from those mental traps because the truth is, there are literally laws. There's power that you have. You're extremely powerful with empowering laws that protect you as a beneficiary, as a consumer, as a homeowner, as a original creditor. Really, even there's moves that you can make as a debtor to move into these positions because the system doesn't want to see you winning. They're like, the system is designed in a way to keep you in the dark, but then the other side of the system, private side of the system, is just waiting for you to understand who you are, your power, and invoke the power, express it. You can literally flip the script so that you are in control as a beneficiary, not the bank, not the creditor, not these money changers, all right? But it starts with you understanding one fundamental thing. The power in understanding your private rights was always yours. It has just been hidden behind legalese. So if you're thinking like, yo, I've never heard such a thing, I've never heard of a public side, private side to the world or these courts or anything like that, right? That's exactly the point. The system is profiting off your ignorance. They hope you never understand the private side of the world. They hope you only understand face value accounting. They hope you only understand how to operate as a debtor on the public side. They don't want you understanding how to operate as a beneficiary. But today we're actually going to, lift that veil from over your face, over your eyes, man, because the private remedies is actually what turn your frustration into confidence and power. So there's a real solution, lawful remedies. There's lawful remedies that actually kind of hide in plain sight, but if you don't know what to look for, then you'll never see it. And it's something called, all right, tender of assignment of credit that's redeemed from the mortgage property. Now, I know this might sound a whole lot, that was a whole mouthful, right? So it might sound kind of advanced, but don't worry, I got you. I'm going to try to make this as crystal clear as possible. So in plain English, this means that you can offer or tender an assignment of the credit value in your property, your asset, to actually settle the debt. So whatever paperwork that you sign, you think you're going into debt. That's actually an asset. It has value. So in other words, the equity that you have in what you own, you leverage that to actually cancel or set off or discharge, extinguish, whatever term you want to use, is to extinguish or balance the ledger. So whatever debt that they say you owe, you are getting rid of that debt because you already have equity in the asset that actually puts you in debt. Remember, I told y'all credit and debt is the same thing. It's synonymous. There cannot be a credit without a debt, debt without a credit. And exclusive equity jurisprudence is about the fairness side of the law, the private side of the law, the part that looks past all the public rules, statutes, and codes saying that they want you to be a trustee, a debtor, right? But the private side allows you to be a beneficiary. So if you're done this right, if you do this right, then actually God works in mysterious ways. You'll have that right, to assignment of credit, essentially saying, hey, here's the value to cover what I owe. So equity treats it like you owe something and you hand it over cash. That's how equity sees it. So your property's value, it gets converted into a payment credit, and by law, that's as good as money. So now what about the other players in this game, right? What about the other people in this transaction? Well, this is where the government comes in. Yes, like the United States comes in certain scenarios the certain scenarios I'm talking about is when you tender a special deposit. That could be a coupon, remittance, all the things that people say out there, right? It lets the government step in as the mortgagee in possession of the money owed on a defaulted loan. So as strange as this might sound, it's like the government can literally take over the debt and pay off, whatever bank, pay off whatever debt that you owe. And they do it, they basically do it on your behalf through like insurance and like insurance programs and, treasury operations. Let's just say that. So the money to clear your mortgage, it doesn't have to come out your pocket. It can come from the system itself. What the United States is basically waiting for you to express that you know what you're talking about, that you know what to do, all right? So it's waiting for you to step into that position as a private beneficiary and direct them on what to do, or the grantor beneficiary and direct them on what to do, all right? So then let's talk about Washington, D.C. So when I say Washington, D.C., what's that D.C. stands for? It stands for District of Columbia. And so the District of Columbia is basically called upon to release the credit. So it's like, how should I put it? You are demanding that the District of Columbia, that they release the lien, that they clear the debt and give you a clear title and whatever interest that is owed to you. But you have to step into the private status and execute on that, position yourself as a beneficiary. Matter of fact, District of Columbia really requires that once a debt like a mortgage is satisfied, the lender must release its hold on your property quickly. And if they don't, then you can take them to court and they would probably have to pay more. So think about that. The law is literally on your side. It literally tells the banks to free your property, free your equity when a debt is paid or lawfully settled. And I'm educating you on how to settle things without necessarily coming out your pocket. Now, I know this is a lot to take in. Terms like tender of assignment of credit or equitable conversion. I know this might sound crazy, intimidating, advanced, and all that, but here's the thing. You don't need a law degree to understand this or use this. I specialize in this down, translating it to you in a way that is easily digestible and that you can understand that it's practical. Like you can apply it you can understand it in your everyday habits and things that you do. All right? And, once you can understand it like that and follow the steps, there ain't no limit. When you do it, when you're able to do this and express it, it's going to start to feel like magic. You're going to start to see God operate in mysterious ways. You're going to see your outcome seems like you're operating, in mysterious ways. And though it may be a mysterious way, it's still completely real and lawful. Imagine this. Imagine tonight you lay your head on a pillow, and for the first time in years, that pressure of all that debt, of all them bills, is just gone. Completely gone. You wake up tomorrow morning, check, no bills. Check online, no bills. That foreclosure, no more. No threats or nothing. Proof that your mortgage is paid off and your property is truly yours, held in a private trust. Picture yourself walking through your home or your business property, going through your financials in your business, knowing nobody can take anything away from you, can ever take anything away from you. Imagine how that feels. Like the deed is in your name only. No strings attached, no security lien, security interest, no nothing. You feel lighter, don't you? You ain't got that pressure, that weight of the world, the weight of that debt on your shoulders, huh? You might even do a little victory dance, right? You might even do that in the living room, the kitchen, or something. Because it's like you finally beat the system at its own game, right? You went up against Goliath and slayed him. How good does that truly feel? Embrace that. I can almost hear the thoughts racing through your mind, man. Like, shit, this sounds too good to be true. Why haven't I heard of this before? Will this really work for me? I had the same questions at first, man. So let's talk about it a little bit. You might be thinking, I'm not a lawyer. This is too complicated. I get it. But the beauty of this is that you don't have to be. You don't have to be a lawyer. We break everything down in plain, simple language that's not legalese. Same way I'm talking to you now, I'll talk to you when I do a deeper dive. So the principles, like how equity regards your debt as paid when you do the right thing, like that's straightforward once somebody explains them to them without, the lees feeling. Let me put it to you like this. If you can follow a recipe or instruct on how to assemble some furniture or, just something like that, then you can follow these principles, understand this concept, and follow these processes, okay? Now, you might be, like I said, you might be feeling like, damn, if this is legit, why haven't I heard it on the news? Why didn't they teach us in school? Why ain't nobody else talking about it? It's because the financial industry doesn't exactly want this to be common knowledge. Think about it. It's designed to keep you in the dark so they can keep eating off you. Banks make more money when you stay in debt because they're collecting interest. They want you to stay in debt and they'll forever be collecting interest. Think about it. You have to pay interest off before you even really start paying on the principal. Come on, man. Like, banks love when you stay in debt, not when you learn how to lawfully cancel the debt. Like, laws and procedures exist in books, but they're not advertised. And they know none of us is really going to look at no books, right? And that's why I created Matisse Academy. And that's why I created, within Matisse Academy, an entry point for you, and it's the Black Sheep community. This is, basically to shine a light on these hidden remedies and lawful strategies and to teach people how to use them. And you might be feeling like, can this really work for me? My situation is different. Listen, exclusive equity and what I educate people on, it came about, it only exists because of unique situations. So maybe you're months behind on payments, maybe you're drowning in debt, or your credit score is not high, or you done lost your kid, or you got the IRS coming after you, whatever it may be, right? Maybe you feel like you're far gone. I can promise you that you're not. Like the principles I'm talking about, it goes a million years forward into the future, a million years back in the past, right? It's grounded in your private rights, and the principles apply to every single citizen, good or bad. Like, it doesn't matter. And they don't expire. I've literally seen homeowners go from about to be foreclosed on to owning their property. And it's by tendering the credit of assignment to stop the foreclosure or doing an abatement. That's how you redeem your property. So I've seen everyday people with no legal background, don't know nothing about no law, legalese, nothing. And they've actually been able to use these steps that I'll talk about, these principles, to actually wipe out mortgages, liens, all types of debts and court cases, criminal court cases, take care of their finances and actually get ahead and have confidence and all this knowledge they can pass down to their kids. See, the key is you have to take action and follow through though. And a lot of people don't. But I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it. And I get it. Like being skeptical is actually healthy. You should question anything and everything that claims to solve such a serious and huge problem. And that's a lot of what I talk about. Don't just say yes to everything without questioning anything. You should question. But so let me be absolute clear in this. This is not a trick. This is not magic. This is not some loophole or none of that. This is using law as it's written, real lawful strategies, exclusive equity jurisprudence and common law. That is the higher laws in this system that actually respects you and your private rights. So, like, in the system, the statutes and codes, they protect the government and the system and feeds off the debtor, right? And keep you in the dark. All I'm asking is for you to have an open mind a little longer, because your breakthrough is closer than you think in terms of understanding who you are, your status, your private rights, and how to position yourself as a beneficiary so that you can get ahead and understand your private rights. Now, here we are. We're basically at a crossroads moment, right? So you've heard that there's a way out. You probably see the light at the end of the tunnel now, right? It's time. You got a choice. You can continue down, down the road of stress, struggle, continue in your situation, dealing with the same legal stuff, and a year from now probably be dealing with the same shit, or maybe even worse, maybe even 5 years from now dealing with the same shit or worse. Or you can live the life as the black sheep that you are and don't follow the rest of the sheeple. Go the other way. Go the other way, where you're going to get protection, where you're going to get empowerment, confidence, freedom. And so if you're ready for that path, then here's my invitation. All right, here's the lifeline. I want you to join me on training. It'll probably be anywhere from let's just say about 30 minutes. If it's going good, then I'll go a bit longer. But this is where we're going to do a deep dive into the hows and whys, right? Like, do a deeper dive so you can, I don't want to overwhelm you right now, but we're going to have to do a little bit deeper dive so that you can understand the jurisdictions and continue how the system works. Like how to invoke exclusive equity so that, you get the government and you get the DC, Washington, D.C. about your business. Then eventually I'll have, for you, kind of intense mentorship where we get down and, roll up our sleeves and we get to it. And execution. All right. So I got a free training that's coming up for you first. Like I said, about 30 minutes, bringing a lot more clarity to you. And I just want to see you in there and take it serious and be committed. All right. And plus, they tell us, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Can we really afford to continue on without understanding our private rights? Because I don't really think so. It's time to replace that fear, that fight or flight feeling that you have, and replace that with confidence, and want you to feel empowered so you can pass those same feelings and knowledge down to your kids so that they can protect, so that you're protecting their future, their freedoms, and that they can do the same for themselves and for their next generation. Does that make sense? So, if you're watching this on Instagram, click the link in the bio or DM me. If you're watching this on YouTube, then click the link in the description. Outside of that, just go to MatisseAcademy.com, sign up for the free training. It's free $99. What you waiting on? I'll see you on the inside. Let's get it.